So you know your theory, the more you know, the more options you have. But now what to do with those options? Well, that's inspiration. I choose to try and be inspired. Inspiration can take many forms, really. The most common one, people, who's your inspiration, who's your influences, you know, your favorite guitar players. Well, we'll touch on that in a little bit here, but you know, that's a great place for inspiration. Look at the guitar player you see up on the stage giving it, and you're going, wow, I want to do that, you know, and beyond. So that's a great source of inspiration. Other instruments and styles. Like, if I'm bored with what I'm listening to, I'll put on some freaky channel on the internet radio. It's wonderful. And listen to some kind of music that I've maybe never heard before. I've got friends on internet network sites that do stuff in different parts of the world that I'm just blown away by these different musics that I've heard. So I get lots of different things from that, and the different instruments. Like one of my favorite guitar players, Vinnie Moore. He's very well known for having learned a lot of guitar out of a clarinet book. Well, why? Well, why not? You know, you get different ideas. The way those phrases are put together for those other instruments, it can be executed on the guitar, so it gives you more ideas. Therefore, more inspiration. And like I was saying before, you know, cultural and ethnic styles. You know, there's a song on the Music from the Void album that I touched on a lot of Mid-Eastern stuff, doing quarter tone stuff and whammy bar techniques, stuff like that for inspiration. You know, you get all kinds of different stuff. Then the biggest one, of course, and then, you know, this list goes on. I could talk all day about this stuff, but imagination. You know, I remember sitting down with a buddy of mine and teaching him a guitar lesson years ago. We were like 18 or whatever, and after the lesson we were sitting there and he goes, you know, how do you do a solo? And I thought to him, well, you could play on this scale and you play it over this chord and all that. But at the time I gave him the answer, well, you sit there and you picture this big dragon coming out of the sky and shoot a laser beam at him with your guitar. And he's going, what are you going on about, man? But really, you know, it's just imagination. Why not? You know, if you're sitting there and you're listening to something, you know, you get something out of the music, make a story, tell a story. It doesn't have to be real or whatever, but if you know it's in there, you might get some neat ideas. What you're into, you know, like I'm into all kinds of stuff, you know, martial arts, science stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I try and incorporate those inspirations into what I do. The inspiration of the martial arts thing, for example, very disciplined approach your practice that way. There you've utilized that inspiration. Okay, so I'm going to do a little self-expression stuff now. I'm going to have a little jam. It's kind of a C minor, C Dorian sort of fusion jam. Greg's probably jammed to this one, gratuitous fusion. But anyway, I'm going to go on for a little bit, and I'm going to cover a fairly wide range of different lick styles, some slower melodic stuff to a couple, you know, shred-eye licks, and then we'll go from that, and then we'll have another little treat here. I'll talk for a little bit more, and then we'll have another jam. Okay. Just a second here while I figure out how to use this damn iPod. There we go. Thank you. A little bit of a fusion sort of thing there. Okay, my paper fell. Paper, yeah. No, I wasn't reading that. All right, inspiration feeds diversity. Diversity. Why is being a diverse player important? Lots of reasons. How about employability? You want to work in the studio business, perhaps. You want to play beyond just playing in the band, which could be cool if you get a lucky break, but playing, you know, teaching, all the stuff that you can do to make a living playing your instrument. The more diverse you are, well, obviously the more options you have. I'm not saying specialization isn't good. Specialization is very good. Diversification is also very good if you can pull it off. There's enough hours in the day to try a new different style a little bit every day. Also, in search of the greater art, too, if you're into that less commercial approach and you want to just create better art, I would say diversity is good for that, too, because you can draw your inspiration from a variety of sources. One of my favorite guitar players, I've got a list this big, but back when I was doing this sort of thing, one of my favorite guitar players, and still today, is Yngwie Malmsteen, and I have that in common with a student of mine that I play with here, Roland. And we're going to do a little example of some Yngwie Malmsteen style soloing for you, with a little bit of a trade-off lick over a jam track. That's the other thing. For those of you who do like to improvise, go online and find lots of jam tracks. Years ago, Greg introduced me to Guitar BT. That was wonderful. I'm pretty sure it's still there, I don't know. This particular track, I think I got off, there was back a while ago, a Guitar Idol contest, and they had a bunch of guitar tracks available, so I scanned a bunch of the tracks from their site there to use them. So that's where I got this one from. So we're just going to go off on this, and then I'll say a little note, and then end off with another track from my album.